you found out he cheated on you while you were engaged?
I have a really, the text messages make it seem that way.
Okay.
He doesn't know that I have found that information.
Okay. What's up, Jenna?
The question is, how do I heal and rebuild trust after my husband's relapse and betrayal when I'm afraid I will never fully recover?
I have an immediate thought, but I'm going to hold. Tell me what happened.
So my husband had about almost 2 decades sober.
Okay.
He relapsed, and I went through his phone, found some inappropriate messages with his ex-girlfriend from when we were dating before we got engaged, and then some other women, and then also found some messages from since we've been married of just, validating other women and stuff like that. So I feel like this has opened up a whole other can of worms.
Validating, like, no, you're beautiful, or no, I love you, or send me nude pics. Like, what do you mean when you say validating?
Telling them they're beautiful or really awesome, and any guy would be lucky to have you, and stuff like that.
And is that in violation of you?
Yes.
Okay. And I say that I just told somebody else, like I just told the caller before you, the exact words, "You're worth being loved," right? Which is very validating.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying this is in a secretive romantic relationship, or like he's receiving validation from other people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was definitely secretive and behind my back and crossed a very clear boundary.
Okay. So when you say the words, "I may never fully recover," what do you mean?
Usually when my trust is broken, just historically, that's really hard to get back, whether it's been in a romantic relationship or friends or family. I felt like I could always, recover from a relapse in terms of building our trust back. But when it involves, when there's another door that's been opened with potential cheating before we were married, that kind of changes things for me. And I'm afraid that I can't ever build that trust back, no matter how hard he's willing to try.
Okay. So did you found out he cheated on you while you were engaged?
I have a really, the text messages make it seem that way.
Okay.
He doesn't know that I have found that information.
Okay. How long have y'all been married?
3 years.
3 years. Can I just exhale with you for a second? I'm sorry. This is the worst. Like, watching somebody you love hurt and go to rehab is pain. And then while you're gone, finding out there's a secret life behind your back that in some situations may put you at risk, like your health and safety at risk. That's devastating, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I know it was before we were married, but
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. In fact, in many ways, it can make your marriage feel like it was built on a house of distrust. I mean, a house of lies, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like I went in with pure intentions and a pure heart, and he didn't. So it hurts.
So just for whatever it's worth, your pain is right.
Thank you.
You're not crazy. I don't think you recover from this. I think you decide I'm going to build something new or I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Recovering means something has happened that you're somehow less than. And I don't think that's true. Like you recover from a broken arm because something on you is broken.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're good. I think the marriage that you thought you had is over. The question is, am I going to build a new one or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like our dynamic has changed, definitely.
No, listen to me. The marriage you had is over. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
You'll have to decide to build something new. Because if you spend a ton of energy trying to get back what was, and he tries to wallpaper over everything to get back to what was, I'm telling you right now, what was never existed. It wasn't what you thought it was. He was with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the man that you thought you married. Character-wise, strength-wise, integrity-wise, your life is different now. The thing you had is over. What you have to ask yourself is, am I going to build something new or not? And you can't build something new with somebody who's actively using substance abuse. And you can't build something new with somebody who is not telling the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help them God.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's the only way. You got to clear the deck. And by the way, you have to tell the full truth. I went and looked in your phone. Here's what I've seen. I've seen everything. But I don't think I've seen everything, actually. I think I've only seen a part of it. I don't know you. I'm disgusted by you. My heart is broken and you broke it. And I don't know if I want to build something new with you. Like, you have to be that open too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you hedge it, there's going to be, that's the seed, that's the soil from which resentment grows. Because you start burying parts of yourself so that you can get to the next thing, right?
Right.
So is he home from rehab?
He will be in 2 weeks.
He'll be home in 2 weeks, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to go visit him?
Yes. Yeah.
How have those visits been?
They've been good. For the most part, they've been good. I definitely, he can sense that something has changed in me because it's hard for me to be vulnerable after seeing things like that. Hard for me to be my normal self with what I know now. But I do plan on being very, very transparent and open about everything that I found.
Can I make 2 recommendations?
Please, yes.
Recommendation number 1, and this is going to sound strange that suddenly I'm flipping teams here, but you going to visit him in rehab as the lights of his life are coming back on, and you keeping this deep, dark secret that you know now is cruel. Don't do that to him.
Okay.
Because he's going to think there's something innately wrong.
Okay.
It will be very disorienting. And you might want to get him back. Like, you caused me this much pain, I'm going to cause you pain in here. You're stuck in here, and you're going to be wondering what I'm thinking about if I found somebody new. Like, whatever stories he's ginning up there because he's stuck in rehab. There's an integrity that I want you to keep whole in this process. You were not treated with dignity and respect, but that will not take your dignity and respect from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've always been a person who tells the truth. I will continue to be a person who tells the truth. The second piece of wisdom is, I don't know if you're allowed to do this, but if possible, I would reach out to his case manager. And here's why. And I think there's a possibility that he hears this in rehab from you, and that there's a counselor there that can help mediate the conversation. And he's got some support and structure before he comes back out thinking his world is healing, and it's laying in pieces all over his living room floor.
Right.
And it may be that his social worker says, I'm going to ask you, please don't bring this up right now. He's too fragile and he won't make it through this.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know part of you doesn't want to blow his life up right now.
Right.
Because you're worried about him.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I know I can't control the things he does or how he reacts, but it doesn't take away from any bit of fear that I hold.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Do you have a number of a case manager you can call?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
So I would ask that person speak confidentially, that you can speak confidentially to them. And they may not be able to. They may say, hey, he's my client actually, but hopefully they'll use their professional discretion and wisdom and judgment.
Okay.
But I would call that person and say, here's what I found. We're going to have to do a confrontation. I'm going to have to sit down and decide if I want to stay married to this person. And rest assured, they're going through that stuff inside. Right? They're walking through amends. They're walking through truth-telling. They're walking through, you may get out of here and your partner leaves you. Like that they're going to be talking about that stuff inside. But it's just different when it happens. Can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you done?
With the marriage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What's your gut tell you?
That it will never be the same. Exactly what you said.
It will. That building fell down. It's over. Yeah. Are you going to build a new building or not going to?
Something in me says I have to try.
Okay. What's that? What's that something? It could be God. It could be arrogance. It could be ego. It could be love. What is that something?
Probably love. Most likely it's love, but it's also, I can't, sorry.
You're okay. You're okay.
Something about throwing away a marriage with this person who is my best friend just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Especially if he's doing everything to fix it and build it back up. And I can't. I feel like I'm betraying him now.
And I think that's one of the demons of infidelity, is it makes the person who got cheated on feel insane. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I felt crazy about it because I never had any worry. There was no reason for me to ever think. It was like a punch to the gut because there weren't any signs that I knew of. And
that's I talk about this a lot on the show, but that to me is one of the. I mean, there's the initial betrayal and there's a lack of safety, right? If you're sleeping with somebody else and then you're sleeping with me, I don't know what you're bringing into this relationship, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think one of the terrifying aspects of it is you didn't see it, and you lose trust in Jenna. Like if I can't see that he's having multiple relationships with multiple people under my roof, you feel crazy.
It's I wrote down in a journal, it's the ease of lying. That someone could so nonchalantly and easily lie and tell a story that is so, the way they talk about it and look me in the eye, it's so believable. And I beat myself up that I didn't see that.
And you got married to somebody who's been wrestling with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest truth benders on planet Earth. And so I think writing, I mean, I'm glad that you have a journaling practice. I think writing something down and finding a situation where you can read it to him.
Okay.
And if you know, I want to fix this, but we're gonna have to rebuild trust from the basement up. Begin to think through what would it take for that. Like no phones, no social media, no this. If I see alcohol again, like what is a path going to look like? And by the way, your path can change every 10 days. Right? I thought I was going to be okay with this. I'm not okay with this. I thought that you get to set the ground rules and he gets to decide whether he's in or out. But there's a cruelty to, we just have to rebuild this thing. And he's like, okay, whatever it takes. And, move back in the same house. Very quickly, everything goes back to the way it was. And so there's got to be some level of me thinking through, okay, if I'm going to stay in this, here's what must be true. And you can make a list of 200 things. You can make a list of 800 things. You can make a list of 3 things. Here's what must be true. Here's the ground rules for redesigning and rebuilding. No, not re. Here's the ground rules for building, for designing, for constructing a new home, because you burned our other home to the ground. It's gone. And so if you and I are going to get in a room and meet with an architect and meet with a design crew and interior designers and a construction team, and we're going to rebuild this thing, here's what must be true. I'm sorry that you're going through this, Jenna. He's lucky to have somebody walking alongside him and loving him like you do. My hope for you is you don't lose yourself in this process and trying to make this thing work. My hope is it empowers you and it emboldens you that what you want matters, what integrity matters, strength and compassion and kindness matters, and integrity matters.